Hi guys, it's Rita Desnoyers-Garcia from Becoming Awake in the Calm Mom Alliance. I work with stressed out moms so that they can embrace, savor, and love their lives, even if it's for the first time. And I'm here, this is like a special interview that I'm doing because it's someone that I've worked with. She's a mentor of mine, she's a coach of mine. Her name is Tracy Beavers, and today we're going to talk to her. She's going to talk a little bit more about her background, but we're going to be talking about something that at first I kind of thought was a little boring and unsexy, but is so vital to building a business. And it's about your email list. So let me just give it over to Tracy to talk. And moms, this is for you. This is for the professional mom who has her own business and wants it to actually grow. Tracy, take it away.
Thanks so much, Rita. I love you. I love you. I think you're first of all, you're hilarious and you're just a really kind human. But I felt this. In fact, that is the first thing I said out of my mouth when I was presenting this same topic to a podcast festival room full of people. I said, email list growth. I said, this is the sexiest topic you're going to hear all day. And of course, they laughed, thank God. And then I said, you laugh, but by the time I'm done, you're going to be like, that is the sexiest topic I've heard all day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like a total snore, but when you figure out the impact an email list can have on the growth of your business and your income, you're like, oh, sign me up. I've got to do this. So just to introduce myself real quick, I'm Tracy Beavers. I'm a business and sales coach from Little Rock, Arkansas, and today it has snowed 10 inches here. We are not built for this, hence the hat and the sweatshirt, and I have two pairs of socks on, just in case anybody wants to know. Um, I asked my husband earlier, do you want to go outside and play? And he was like, no. He goes, it's 10 inches of snow out there. It's like, have you seen it?
Armageddon.
I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're not going anywhere. So anyway, business and sales coach. And my focus has evolved into, over the last couple of years, a focus of helping business owners get massively visible online so it looks like it's a trick. It looks like they're online 24/7, but they're really not. And all of that visibility leading directly to their email list, because that is where that's one of we'll talk about the importance of the email list, but it's one of the things we own, one of the only things we own, and it's where you're actually going to transform people that have subscribed to your list into buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the an inconvenient truth, I think, is that I spent a lot of time in my business doing all sorts of like what I would call sexy things and unsexy things, and they didn't really amount to much, but it
Right.
looked like I was busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can be busy doing some stuff. It's
Yeah,
just
and I
not.
felt very important, but I
Yeah.
wasn't actually working with clients so I could coach them, which is why I got into business in the first place. So to bring this up front and center, let's talk about that. Why is having an email list so important?
It's so important because, um, and you've heard this before, Rita, if all we do is try to build a business online, an online business using social media platforms, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, you name it, if that's all we do, we run the risk of not, we run the risk of losing our business because it's happened before. These platforms can get wonky, they can go dark. A couple of years ago, Instagram and Facebook went dark for like 36 hours. And when the lights came back on, I'm in the Meta Leaders Network Facebook group, and thousands of business owners lost a lot of money because they had no email list. They had no way to reach their people. And so if all I'm doing is building on Facebook, and Facebook shuts completely down, how can I reach you? How can I keep going? How can I sustain anything? We don't control the algorithms. We all know that. And anybody who says they understand the algorithm, they are lying because nobody does. Um, so we can't control really if somebody's going to see our post or not. But what we can control is what we own, which is that email list. So if I meet you on Facebook and I get you off of Facebook into my email list, I can literally land in what I call your living room, your inbox. It's like I am landing in your living room and I'm going, "Hey Rita, guess what I've got for you?" Whether it's a free thing or my latest podcast episode or an offer that I've got or whatever. So, as business owners, we've got to capture people in a place that we have control over so we don't lose everything we have worked so hard to build.
Yeah. So that sounds wonderful and it's becoming a little more sexy now, but let me give you the next obstacle that I'm thinking of, which is sounds kind of hard. How do you do this in a way that's not going to drive you nutso?
Great question. So you know me, I am all about building a business with ease, authenticity, simplicity. Like if there's a simple way to do something and achieve the same result, I'm going for simple all day long. I do not think we have to be fancy pants, and I don't think that business growth has to be a struggle. It doesn't. And so when it comes to your email list, there's some simple things that we can do to start to grow it. A foundational thing is to create a free lead magnet
Mm,
that the audience wants to opt into. That's a great foundational piece. But after you do that, that's where I come in. I teach you everything else you can do to grow that list, where we get your list growth happening automatically every day in the background of your business. So it does make it easy. So you actually don't have to think to yourself, how many hours this week am I going to spend on my list growth? That's not the thought. The thought is what am I going to do to grow my business? And how can every action I take lead directly to list growth? We want every action you take in your business to lead to the email list. And so a really easy way to do this, you're already creating social media content. You're already posting, you're already going live, you're already doing the reels and the stories and all that jazz. Let that lead to your email list. So
yeah.
be sure you have a call to action. And a great call to action could be for engagement. We definitely want engagement. Algorithm loves that. But you want a call to action that leads to your email list in some way, whether that's a podcast and you've got your podcast audio with a call to action to your list and your show notes with a call to action to your list, or it's come join my free Facebook group because the membership entry questions grow your list, or it's come join my free live masterclass because when they opt in for the masterclass, they land on your list. And then as long as you're consistent with that social media content. And when I use the word consistent, a lot of people automatically, their brains go to, oh, she wants me to post 7 days a week on all these platforms. No, Tracy, I'm not going to do this. So the minute I say the word consistent, people are like, no. But when I say consistent, and you know this, Rita, because you've been in my programs, what I want people to do when it comes to social media, being consistent, using those calls to action, but I want them to decide when it comes to consistency, how often can I post? What do I have the bandwidth for? Let's say Facebook is your platform of choice, like it is mine. When I first started building this business, it was alongside my corporate job and two busy kids. And so I had the bandwidth to post like 3 times a week on Facebook, but I was consistent week in, week out, 3 days a week, week in, week out. That's what I want people to do. So that list growth is going to start to happen automatically with your social media content when you give a call to action that leads to your list and you stay consistent. Because the last thing I want people to do is to come swinging out of the gate, posting 7 days a week. And then 2 weeks later, it's like joining a gym in January. 2 weeks later,
Mhm.
like, I'm tired. I'm not going. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. again. And you just don't go, you know? And then you exhaust yourself trying to post 7 days a week and you just stop.
Yeah.
There goes your consistency. There goes your visibility, which is the other thing I teach. There goes your list growth. Just right out the window.
Yeah. You're singing my song, let me tell you. So when I did your program, which is fairly not too long ago,
Right.
I was not so consistent. I really had no idea how to optimize or maximize my rented real estate on Facebook. And you were teaching me things to do that I didn't even know you could do on Facebook. And I was like,
Yeah.
is this legal? What are we doing? You're like, it's completely fine. Don't worry about it. And I got a lot of stuff just by going to your master class. So are you able to talk a little bit about what your free master class is about?
Yeah, for sure. So I have 4 live master classes coming up. They're all the same thing. You can
Okay.
just get to pick out of 4 dates and times which one works best for you. Go to Tracy. No, no, I'm not going to give you that URL because I want Rita to give hers. Sorry, it's habit. So the master class is I'm going to teach you 4 simple strategies that you can use that same day to start growing your email list automatically every day in the background of your business, like we're talking about. Things like your Facebook personal profile. I bet you've never thought about how that can grow your email list. It can. Your Facebook business page, why you need one, you still need one, and how it can also grow your email list. And then we talk about social media content, like I'm talking about now. One of the things I teach is how to make it your life easier with regard to creating the social media content because it feels enormous. You're staring at a blank computer screen. You're like, I don't even know what to say. And so I have a very simple exercise that I teach that allows you to map out 90 days of social media content in only 30 minutes. And then the other thing, I think this strategy is the one that people show up the most for. Facebook groups,
Yeah.
being visible and networking in Facebook groups to grow your list, even the groups that don't allow promotion, because there's a way to do it. And so we talk about those strategies. And then I talk about the group coaching program that you went through called Business Visibility Made Easy. So I full disclosure, because I'm so much for honesty and transparency. I'm going to teach you the 4 strategies and then I'm going to talk to you about my program. But
Yeah.
even if you don't join the program, you're still going to walk away with stuff you can use.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people tell me they're shocked because I think they're expecting to show up to a webinar or a workshop or a masterclass and just get a bunch of fluff, like the 30,000 foot view that they walk away and they're like, that was 90 minutes. I can't get back. And I didn't
Mhm.
learn anything. No, I don't like to do that. I like to give you stuff and then I want to try to sell you my program because it's amazing.
Yeah. That was my exact experience. In fact, I don't know if you remember this, but I did your master class and you literally gave us step-by-step instructions about how to do certain things to maximize our rental properties, if you will. And I was just like, oh, I'm doing this. And I did it, and I just felt it like almost was like a shift of energy for me. Like now I'm like really telling people where they can find me and how to get on my list versus just having them go through all my papers and like figure it out on their own. You know what I mean? Like we think people know, but they don't know.
I have no idea. No.
Yeah. And so I did that, and then I said I wanted to do your program, but I wasn't sure I had the time because I was doing this other thing. Do you remember that whole conversation? And you were so sweet about it. You didn't like, like hard sell me or anything. You were just like, well, you asked me some questions and I pondered it. And then I was like, well, maybe I can do this. And I kept thinking it was going to take so much of my time. But I have to say, it didn't.
I
Like it saved me to, like, of course there was time I had to put into it, but I just made a decision. I'm going to do this now, and then I'm going to implement these things. And I have to tell you, I don't post every day. I post 4 to 5 times a week in my Facebook group. I schedule a lot of stuff, so that saves a lot of time. A lot of it's the same over and over again, so that's like a no-brainer. But it helped me organize myself, right? With a lot of your suggestions and the people that work with you, their suggestions, time savers, whether it's a different platform or just a way that you do things, that I work less hard now. I put out more information, and get this, I had a colleague connect with me. She's like, I really need to talk to you. We're referral partners. How are you doing? And she goes, you were the first person on my list that I wanted to contact because I see you everywhere. You are so visible. And I went,
Yay!
"Alright." Yeah. So she wanted me to help her promote her thing because she knows I'm really visible,
Oh, it makes me so happy. I love
right?
it.
And then
Yes.
the other thing that happened, I took the course in what, October I started it,
I think so. Yes. Yes.
and now it's January, and I have 2 group programs running next week and the week after, and I have 2 workshops.
Huh?
One is full, the other is has a few slots. I don't think I've been that full before in my business, and I doubled the number of people in my Facebook group, and I doubled the number of people on my mailing list.
Wow.
And I would give you 90% credit on why, obviously I had to do the work, but it
Yeah.
was the suggestions and the ability to connect with you and the modules and all of the infrastructure that you help us build. That's not really that complicated even, but but it really makes a difference and it shifts your energy. I really felt a shift of energy
Yeah. I love that so
going
much.
in it.
I love it so much when somebody says, I see you everywhere as a business owner, that's like, yes, it's working. Yeah. Oh, that makes me so happy,
Yeah,
Rita.
and it wasn't in a, you know how one of the things words that I've used in your course, I'm sure you've heard a million times is I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to be a nudge, blah, 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 blah. And
Right.
you have really helped me get beyond that. So
Nice.
that, so I just want to say it's not just what you're teaching, but how you're teaching that helps people to make these shifts in their business. So, all right, so let's get to the information that people want to know. When's the master class? Or are there
Yes.
several dates and how do they get?
Yeah, there's several dates. We have January 21st, January 23rd, and then the 28th and the 29th. And I know you're going to give them your link as my affiliate. Thank you very much for being an affiliate.
Of course.
You're going to give them your link in the comments, I think, to sign up for the masterclass. And they can just pick the date that works for them.
Awesome. Excellent. And I just want you to know that I'm an affiliate, but I think I'd be doing this even if I wasn't an affiliate because I really feel that strongly about how much of a change it's made in my business so far. And I'm just starting with the change. So I'm real happy
Ah,
about
that
it.
means to me. Thank you.
Is it?
Oh, one thing I
Yeah, go
forgot.
ahead.
When people show up live to the masterclass,
Yeah.
I give them two free gifts. One is my Facebook growth toolkit, where they can learn some more tricks to the Facebook platform. And the other one is called New Clients in 30 Days. It's a simple guide with some mindset shifts in it. Say that 5 times fast. And it's really cool. So, I mean, because I don't know anybody that doesn't want new clients in 30 days. So they get those two free things when they show up live to the masterclass.
Wow. That's great. There are so many things that I got in this course that I was like, oh, this was worth all the money that I spent on this. And they'd be like, oh, well, here's another one, and here's another one. So I
Love
feel
it.
grateful if I get like one thing out of a course I take, but I feel like I got at least a dozen things.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. How did you feel about the live strategy calls when we went live? When I go live, so in the program, for people that don't know, it's an 8-week group coaching program called Business Visibility Made Easy. That's the one Rita and I are talking about. And everybody, all the students are in a private student-only Facebook group where you can post anytime, ask me anything, get feedback on anything. And then also every Tuesday, I we do a live strategy session. We're all on Zoom together. Nobody is rushed. Nobody's put on a timer. Like, could you tell people that experience? Because I think when I tell people that I really do answer every question, because they've been in so many programs where not every question is answered, they don't believe me. I mean, they're just like, really? And I'm like,
Yeah.
so would you speak to that
Yes,
experience?
absolutely. So I've been in, I obviously was in those calls. There were times where I left before you, obviously, before you left. You are true to your word that you do. Every single person gets their question answered. And if you can't, if for some reason you have amnesia when you go to those, there's also the Facebook group where you tag, where I have tagged you and Shannon and other people about like, oh, I forgot about this. This came up because, you know, business doesn't have a schedule of when you have questions. So if you can't do it in the live, then you can do it in between. But I always felt like I got my question answered and you were very generous with your time. Like you were determined to answer every question. So yeah, absolutely. And it also helps to hear other people's questions. One, because you realize you're not the only person who's having a hard time. I mean, when you normalize struggling in a business, it really does help, right?
Mhm.
Because then you're like, oh, I'm not the only one. And
Right.
then two is a lot of the questions are very similar to what I needed. And then I would learn a resource I didn't even know I needed. And I was like, oh, that exists? Okay, great.
Love it.
Yeah. So the group experience is marvelous. And I met a lot of amazing people that I now support and I know how to support
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
better way and where we support each other and go to each other's stuff and help each other get on, you know, clients get on each other's lists. So
Yeah. Which also helps your list growth because you're collaborating, and I think that was something we talked about, we were going to talk about today and we didn't, but um, but collaborating with other people, the power of that, growing your audience through other people's audiences. Yeah. Oh, I love that, Rita. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I mean, my marketing strategy has been for years is referral referral partners, right? People that you know, like, and trust referring you and back and forth. And this, I feel like, was very much in keeping with that. And it was like this huge new addition of like, oh, it was like another huge piece of the puzzle.
Nice. I
Sure.
love that. Cool.
Any last thing you want to add before we wrap this up?
Just don't sleep on your list growth in this year. Don't do it. There are some simple ways to build an email list. It doesn't have to be difficult. And just like Rita said, there's so many benefits to being in a group coaching program. You're in a community of other people that are doing the same thing you're doing, and you do realize that you are not alone. And that's one of the biggest things I say at the end of every podcast episode is, being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. And we've got to stick together and we've got to support each other. And so that is one of my favorite things to see happen in the group coaching program is everybody comes together and supports each other and, doing coffee chats and networking and collaborating and it's
And
magic
cheering each other on.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
And it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, that's really great. It's like, yes. It's
Not
not
the same
passive
clap.
aggressive.
Oh,
Let's clap. It's
so happy for you. Yeah, I know.
it's it's very supportive. And the one of the shifts I think that I've made in my life is when I see someone do something that I haven't been able to do. I used to be like, oh, I don't like, I used to either like dismiss it or get jealous or whatever. And now I'm like, that's possible? Oh, let's do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. Me too.
awesome. All
Yeah,
right,
thanks
so
for having me.
of course, Tracy, thank you so much for coming on. I'm glad I can support you and support moms who need your services so that they can grow their list, so they can grow their business, so that they can make more money and do the thing that they're born to do and raise their kids and have great families without ripping their hair out. So please, after you listen to this, go to the comments section. You'll see my affiliate link and click on it, and you'll see all the information there. All right. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks, Tracy.